Yes, it is update day and we have a lot of stuff to go over, but before we get started, I want to give a massive shout out to @zbird8596 on Twitter for drawing me what is now my new channel banner art. Yes, that's right. If you go check right now, my channel art has been updated to a version of the pink crack shot where he's sort of holding a finger gun to his head. I took inspiration from the Borderlands cover, if that makes sense. If you know what the Psycho dude is, he kind of does that a lot. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Z-Bird. He's an absolute legend for doing that. He didn't have to take the time out of what took him, I think, just 2 days, but he didn't have to do it, and he did, so I really appreciate you for that. Anyway, without further ado, there is a lot to cover in this update, so let's get started. Hey everyone, this is Syntax, and today we're going to be covering the version 18.20 update, the latest update for Fortnite Creative. First things first, they added different island types, which is a survival island and a survival island empty, and maybe one other thing. Was this here? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, if you're making a new map and you want to build it on a quote-unquote survival island, you can do that now. Of course, Epic would add an island specifically for survival maps when I am literally in the middle of building one. Anyway, we still have the old hub. When is this gonna get updated? Maybe it'll be updated by the time you're seeing this. Anyway, now that we are inside of our creative mechanics island, if you go ahead and take a look at devices, the first things you'll probably notice are these two things right here. The Signal Remote Manager, I'm not exactly sure what it does just yet, but I do know that the character device is officially now in Fortnite Creative. I believe this was the mannequin device before they took it out, like when they released it on accident, but now it's known as the character device, so we're gonna call it that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this thing is supposedly, yeah, it's like a ton of memory, and then it just kind of stays at that memory. Yeah, this doesn't go down with its later copies. It's like close to 2,500 memory for each one of these, which is, mighty unfortunate. Anyway, right off the bat, you have a bunch of different styles that you can actually have this thing set to, so, like, that's pretty cool. Now, I don't see crack shot anywhere, so I'm beyond disappointed, but you know what? That's fine. Anyway, you have a whole bunch of different poses that you can actually put them in. Oh, he's in anguish. And you know, this is actually super cool for like really cinematic type maps where memory isn't that big of an issue, because like, look at all these different poses they can do. You can set an interact type so that you can actually send a signal if the player interacts with them, so that's pretty cool. You can give them an interaction text, an interaction time, you can make it visible during the game, and oh, there's a bunch of different things. Are these like, is it supposed to emote when it does this? See, this is actually super cool because the character will actually emote. Like, it will do this emote when you activate it. That is super cool. Yep, see, that's the setting right there. Play emote when receiving from. So whatever emote you have it set on the emote, it will then play it when you send a signal to it. I'll probably do more in-depth videos on this device alone, but just know it's basically like the beginnings of an NPC. If you did enough with it, it would be like an NPC, but it's the start to it. Anyway, Signal Remote Manager, I don't know what this does, and while I may not know what it actually does, I do believe it comes with a weapon. Yeah, that thing right there, I know somehow they're linked. I think there's actually 4 different rarities, gold, purple, blue, and green. Anyway, what this thing does is it actually allows you to send a signal by just having the device in your hand, so it's kind of like C4, but as a device, if that makes sense. You can have this thing enabled at game start. You can have the cooldown set to whatever is appropriate for whatever context. Jesus, why would you need an hour cooltime? There's the basic enable and disable settings, but there's also on primary activation and on secondary fire transmit on. I don't know what these do. Okay, so my boldest assumption is that this thing, when you hit it, it will send a signal to this thing that you can use as a middleman to send a signal to something else? Okay, so I'm just gonna have this billboard pop up when receiving from channel 1, and it's gonna be like disabled on game start, and I guess I'll see if that's how it works. I don't honestly know. Okay, so I have the signal thing in hand, and it didn't it didn't do anything. It says activate to transmit on the channel set on the associated signal remote manager. So how do I associate said signal remote manager? It appears that I can actually press this with L2 and R2, so I don't know if that's important or not, but I mean, it's what? Wait, the blue one actually sent it. Okay. Wait, so if I set this to be hidden from channel 2, and then on secondary fire transmit on channel 2, and I use the blue one, can I like toggle that billboard on and off? Oh. Okay, see, you and me were both learning at the same time. So, should I have done this beforehand? Probably. But now I know. I believe you drop whatever remote you're going to be sending the signal with into this device, and then it will look for that remote. Yeah, okay, so the high pops up, and then I guess it... Oh, R2 sends on the one signal, but L2 sends on the other signal? Yeah. The base thing you should know right now is that whatever signal you're going to be using with this device, you have to first drop that signal into the device. Then you have primary and secondary activators, which is your shoot button and your aim in button respectively, that if you do that, it will send a signal on 2 different channels depending on how you hook it up. So whenever I press my shoot button, the billboard becomes visible, and then when I press my aim in button, it sends a different signal to then disable the billboard. Wait, no, there's actually so much potential with this. I'm gonna have to make a video about like all the things you can do with this device, because this thing is insane. So yeah, summed up, this device or this pair of devices allows you to send a signal through a middleman to another device somewhere on the map. That's just so cool. Don't know how many times I've said that's cool, but I mean, I'm sure it's enough. Anyway, primitive shapes I think got some new textures, so we're gonna look at that. Could I be totally wrong? I guess I'm not totally wrong. What on earth? Oh, this is like the XL Island blue lines that pop up. What? Why would they add that? Anyway, we have world grid, then we have iridescent. Is that how you pronounce that? Oh dear God. Wait, that's like fully textured. That's like a textured piece. That is very strange. Okay, anyway, next we have chrome. Okay, yeah, it's just like the reflective glass pieces, like the blocks that I use for that. That's very strange. Very intimidating. I'm sure there's practical uses for that, but not any that you're gonna be seeing me use. I believe we got the spicy, yeah, the chili chug splash. Can you believe that? We finally have an exotic in creative. Who would have thought? Oh yes, look at this. We also have the shadow flopper, which I believe turns you into a shadow. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. What else would it have done? Wait a second, how could I forget they added new stuff to the Sky Dome device? What am I looking for here? Don't we have like clouds now? Ah, yes, we have an ambient light option, which, to be quite frank, oh, I think it just allows you to make more accurate light settings. Oh, you can also add an intensity on the ambient light. You know, this is just allowing for more creativity and customizability, so I am 100% all for it. I have a feeling that that will just allow you to lighten darker areas, but anyway, we also have customizable clouds now. Ooh, look at the twisty clouds. What else? They have realistic clouds as well, which are obviously less twisty. We also have different speeds we can set the clouds to, from slow, breeze, fast, and storm. Oh my God, what does storm look like? Oh, they're just extremely fast. And of course, possibly the most important aspect of all that is you can change the direction they are traveling. I mean, if I have them sitting still, they're not going to travel, but let me set them to travel in a direction. So as you can see, they're kind of traveling in that direction, but if I go like the polar opposite, like instead of northeast or southeast, we go like northwest, are they gonna, yep, they start traveling the opposite direction. So yeah, the Sky Dome, it got new settings. Man, that really didn't seem like a lot, did it? But you know what? I'll take quality over quantity any day. But yeah, anyway, that's version 18.20. Expect to see some future videos on how some of these devices actually work, because they seem a little bit too complex to just go over in this video. I also quickly want to again thank ZBird for taking the time out of his days to draw my new banner. I absolutely love it, and it's probably going to stay that for quite a long time. So again, thank you so much for actually drawing it. It looks beautiful. But yeah, anyway guys, that's all I have for you today. I really do hope this video helped you out, and yeah, this has been Syntax. Later. You know, I almost ended the video, but I realized I missed just a couple things. One, the visual effects spawner has new, like, visual effects, which I think are like balloons and some other stuff, so there's that, go check that out. And there's some dark variants on the curtains and, like, carpets in the princess prop gallery, but yeah, I think that's it. So, hopefully I didn't miss anything else. Also, for any of you wondering, this is what the full banner actually looks like. Unfortunately, YouTube's dimensions for their banners like to cut pretty much everything off, but this is the full work by ZBird. It looks absolutely incredible. But yeah, that's the full thing.